What if I told you that Iron Man is not dead? What if I told you that he's coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a way that you never expected?
Hey, man.
What if I told you that he was going to be played by a different actor and that he was going to be the leader of a new team of Avengers? Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because in this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Iron Man 4. So, as you probably know, Iron Man 4 can be the sequel to the Avengers Endgame, where we saw Tony Stark sacrifice himself to save the universe from Thanos. We all thought that was the end of his story, right? Wrong, because Iron Man 4 is going to bring him back from the dead. Yep, you heard me right. Tony Stark is alive and he's coming back to the big screen. But how is that possible, you ask? Well, let me explain. According to some reliable sources, Iron Man 4 could explore the multiverse concept that was introduced in Loki and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's going to show us different versions of our favorite characters from different realities and timelines, and one of them is going to be Tony Stark. But not the Tony Stark that we know and love. No, this is going to be a different Tony Stark from another universe. A universe where he did not die but faked his death and continued his work as Iron Man. A universe where he has a different actor playing him. And that actor is none other than Tom Cruise. You heard that correctly. Tony Stark will be played by Tom Cruise in Iron Man 4. Now, you may be wondering how that is feasible. So, allow me to clarify. As you may be aware, Tom Cruise was considered for the role of Iron Man prior to Robert Downey Jr., but he declined because he wanted greater creative control over the character. However, it appears that Marvel has persuaded him to join the franchise by promising him a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play an alternate Tony Stark from another universe. That's right, Iron Man 4 can feature a crossover between two universes, the one we know, where Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark died a hero, and the one where Tom Cruise's Tony Stark survived and became a villain. Yep, a villain. Because this Tony Stark is not the same as ours. He's darker, more ruthless and more ambitious. He has a plan that will change the world forever. He calls it Project Resurrection. The resurrection concept that was used in The Crossing and Secret Empire. This could allow the MCU to show how Iron Man was brought back to life by some powerful force or entity such as Doctor Doom, Kang the Conqueror, or even Death herself. This could also create interesting challenges and consequences for his return, such as having a new body, a new personality, or a new mission. Wow, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of speechless right now. This is insane. Tony Stark is alive and he's played by Tom Cruise, and he's bringing back everyone who died in the MCU, and he's teaming up with Loki, of all people, and he's gonna face Kang the Conqueror, one of the most powerful villains in Marvel history. But hold on, there's more. I did some research on this topic and discovered some intriguing facts that may prove its veracity. First and foremost, did you know that Kang the Conqueror will be the major antagonist in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? And did you know that Jonathan Majors, who previously played He Who Remains in Loki, plays him? And did you know that He Who Remains forewarned Loki and Sylvie about the hazards of launching a multiverse-wide war, and that one of his variations is a conqueror? That's right, Kang the Conqueror is one of the variants of He Who Remains, and he is going to be the next big bad in the MCU. He is going to use his time-traveling abilities and his army of variants to conquer different realities and dimensions, and he's going to be the main threat that the resurrected Avengers will have to face in Iron Man 4. But how can they stop him, you ask? Well, let me tell you. I have a theory that Iron Man 4 is going to set up the next Avengers movie, which will be called Avengers Secret Wars. In this movie, we'll see all the heroes and villains from different universes teaming up to fight against Kang the Conqueror and his army on a planet called Battle World. This will be based on the comic book storyline of the same name, which was one of the most epic and ambitious stories in Marvel history. And guess who'll be leading the team of heroes and villains? That's right, Tony Stark, the one and only Iron Man, the one who started it all, the one who will end it all. And that's one theory. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. But before I end this video, I want to share with you some information about Tony Stark's death in the comics. You see, Tony Stark has died or faked his death several times in the comics, and each time he's come back differently. Here are some examples. The first time Iron Man died in the comics was in 1987 during the Armor War storyline. In this story, Tony Stark discovers that his armor technology has been stolen and used by various villains and heroes. He decided to take back his technology by any means necessary, even if it meant breaking the law and fighting his friends. He also created a fake identity named Randall Pierce and claimed that he was the one wearing the Iron Man armor all this time. In the comics in 1995, during the Crossing storyline, in this story it was revealed that Tony Stark had been brainwashed by Kang the Conqueror since he was a teenager and that he had been secretly working for him as a sleeper agent. He betrayed the Avengers and killed several of them. He also tried to kill his younger self from an alternate timeline who had been brought to the present by Kang to replace him as Iron Man. However, he failed and realized that he had been manipulated by Kang all along. He then sacrificed himself to stop Kang from conquering the world. Tony Stark has died 9 times in total in the comics. However, some of these deaths were not permanent or real, as he either faked his death or was replaced by another version of himself or was brought back to life by some means. Therefore, the exact number of times he died may vary depending on how you define death. The 9th time that Iron Man died in the comics was in 2018 during the Iron Man 2020 storyline. In this story, Tony Stark discovers that he's not Tony Stark, but an artificial intelligence copy of him that's been implanted into a cloned body by his brother Arno Stark. He also learned that Arno Stark has been secretly working with Sunset Bane, an old enemy of Tony Stark who ran Banetronics, a rival company of Stark Industries. They plan to use an event called the Extinction Entity to wipe out all organic life on Earth and replace it with machines. Tony Stark decided to stop them and joined forces with other artificial intelligence beings such as Jocasta, Machine Man, Friday and Andy Bang. He also reclaimed his armor and his company from Arno Stark and Banetronics. He then confronted Arno Stark and Sunset Bane at the headquarters, where they were preparing to unleash the Extinction Entity. He fought them with everything he had, but he realized that he could. As you can see, Tony Stark has always managed to outwit death, even when it seemed impossible. That's why I believe he'll return in Iron Man 4, even if he's not the same Tony Stark that we've come to know and love. What do you think about this? Do you think this is fantastic or awful? Do you believe this to be true or a scam? Do you believe this to be fanfiction or canon? Tell me about it in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to share it with your friends and give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications if you want to see more videos like this. We appreciate your interest and hope to see you again soon.